In an unprecedented moment in history, Pope Francis has confirmed a prophecy that for centuries has captivated the minds of theologians, scholars, and faithful alike. His recent revelations have caused commotion worldwide, shaking the very foundations of the Catholic Church and capturing the attention of millions of people around the planet. This ancient prophecy, known as the Voice of the Shepherd, predicted a monumental change not only within the Church, but also in the course of human history, an event so momentous that it will forever alter our understanding of faith and the divine order of the universe. For generations, this prophecy remained shrouded in mystery, raising both hope and fear. It spoke of a period of unprecedented turmoil, both within the world and within the Church itself. This time of turbulence would pave the way for a spiritual leader to reveal truths hidden for centuries, truths so powerful that they would dismantle established beliefs and redefine humanity's relationship with the divine. These revelations were destined to emerge at a critical time, when the world faces physical, spiritual, and social crises of apocalyptic magnitude. Pope Francis, with his visionary leadership and innovative approach, has been identified by many as the central figure of this prophecy. Recognized for addressing pressing global issues, such as climate change, poverty, and inequality, it has proven to be a catalyst for transformation. His willingness to confront sensitive issues, once considered taboo within the Church, has distinguished him as a leader capable of guiding the institution through this era of profound change. His calls for humility, compassion, and a more authentic connection with God's people have resonated in millions of hearts around the world. Now, with a surprising statement that has left the world stunned, Pope Francis has made the prophecy come true. This announcement, made in the midst of a time of unparalleled global crisis, marks a turning point in history. It is not simply a spiritual message, it is a call to action, urging the faithful to embrace a new understanding of the world and their place in it. The Pope's words are a beacon in the midst of the storm, guiding humanity toward a future that promises both transformation and redemption. However, this revelation does not come alone. Pope Francis also shared details about another prophecy, hidden for centuries in church archives, the Great Divide. According to this view, humanity is on the verge of a monumental fracture that will separate those who remain faithful to their spiritual values from those who succumb to the temptations of materialism, greed, and false promises. This division will be accompanied by an unprecedented global crisis marked by devastating natural disasters, widespread famine, and a moral and ethical collapse that will make it increasingly difficult to discern the truth. Central to this prophecy is the appearance of a false savior, a charismatic but deceptive figure who will offer seemingly miraculous solutions while leading humanity away from God. This warning comes at a time when environmental, political, and social challenges threaten to plunge the world into chaos. However, Pope Francis emphasizes that the real danger lies not in the physical destruction of the planet, but in the moral and spiritual decline of humanity. Confusion and deception will spread, causing even the most devout to face unimaginable trials. The Pope's call is clear. It is time to choose. Resisting the lure of materialism and holding firmly to the teachings of Christ will be essential to surviving this testing period. He stressed the importance of deepening our relationship with God, reconnecting with the fundamental truths of faith, and seeking refuge in prayer and the gospel. This prophecy is not just a warning, but an invitation to spiritually prepare for the challenges ahead. As the world faces an uncertain future, Pope Francis's words resonate as an urgent reminder of the need to strengthen our faith. The Great Divide is not a distant event. It is a present reality that demands an immediate response. We must ask ourselves, are we ready to face the storm with unwavering faith? Will we choose to follow the light of Christ even in the midst of the deepest darkness. For some, these revelations represent a unique opportunity for spiritual reform, a crucial moment in returning to the founding principles of the Church. For others, they are a grim warning of global upheaval, encompassing not only physical destruction, but also irreversible moral and spiritual decay. Ultimately, this prophecy challenges us all to choose between two paths, one that leads to salvation and another that ends in ruin. The decision, as always, is in our hands. But the deeper question that arises from these revelations is, what does this fulfillment of prophecy really mean for the future of the Church and humanity? Could this be the catalyst for a global spiritual awakening that transcends religious, political, and cultural divides? Many believe so. The voice of Pope Francis has not only resonated as a warning, but as a call to unity and personal and collective renewal. The impact of these revelations is already being felt around the world. Millions of people have been deeply moved, interpreting the Pope's words as a divine wake-up call. He urged the faithful to reaffirm their faith and prepare for the challenges ahead, encouraging them to hold firmly to the teachings of Christ. Resisting the lure of materialism and the rise of deceptive doctrines will be essential during this spiritual crisis. He stressed the importance of personal spiritual renewal, urging everyone to reconnect with the fundamental truths of their faith and seek refuge in prayer and the gospel. This prophecy demands a level of spiritual vigilance never seen before. Pope Francis reminded the world that the time has come to choose: follow the example of Christ or succumb to the empty promises of a turbulent world. The Great Divide is not simply a warning, but an invitation to be spiritually prepared for the ultimate test of faith, as the world faces an uncertain future. With environmental, political, and social upheavals on the horizon, the Pope's message emphasizes the critical need to strengthen our relationship with God. Even the most devout will face challenges during this period, but it is through deepening our faith and seeking divine guidance that we will persevere. The prophecy serves as a reminder to remain vigilant, resilient, and steadfast in our commitment to God as the lines between truth and falsehood become increasingly blurred. The fulfillment of this prophecy has sparked heated debates among theologians and scholars, marking a crucial moment in the history of the Church, a decisive call to action for all believers. As we stand on the brink of this great divide, we must ask ourselves, are we prepared to face the storm with unwavering faith? Will we choose to follow the light of Christ, even in the midst of darkness? Some see this revelation as a much-needed reform for the Church, a crucial moment in returning to its primary mission of guiding the faithful through difficult times. Others see it as a dire warning of impending global upheaval, encompassing not only physical destruction, but also profound moral and spiritual decay. This prophecy speaks of a world thrown into chaos by environmental disasters, social unrest, and ethical collapse. It describes a divide between two distinct paths, one leading to Christ and salvation, and the other to materialism, deception, and ultimately ruin. According to many theologians and spiritual leaders, Pope Francis's revelation serves as a wake-up call for humanity. The Great Divide is not simply an event that takes place in the distant future. It is a present challenge that urges people to act immediately to safeguard both their spiritual well-being and the future of the planet. This message resonates deeply at a time when natural disasters are becoming more frequent and social tensions continue to rise. Prophecy demands a response from each individual, forcing them to make a conscious decision. Will they follow Christ or fall prey to the empty promises of the world? Ultimately, The fulfillment of this prophecy is not just a historical milestone. It is a call to action, a reminder that each of us has a role to play in the redemption of humanity. Pope Francis's words have not only brought warnings, but also hope. The hope that, even in the darkest moments, the light of faith can guide humanity towards a better future. For millions of Catholics around the world, Pope Francis's words have been like a balm that rekindles the flame of their faith, bringing with them a spiritual renewal that many believed was lost amid the challenges and distractions of the modern world. This message is not simply a call for passing reflection, but a crucial turning point in your spiritual lives, a moment to rediscover the true meaning of your commitment to Christ and deepen your personal relationship with God. In an increasingly fragmented world where social, political, and moral divisions seem to widen by the day, there is a deep sense of hope that arises from the teachings of the Holy Father. It reminds us that even as we face seemingly insurmountable storms, humanity has the ability to overcome them if we remain united, embrace our faith, and persevere with determination. Its message resonates as a powerful statement as the world grapples with an unprecedented existential crisis. Those who remain steadfast on their spiritual path will find divine protection, heavenly guidance, and unwavering inner strength. At the heart of this message is the Great Divide, a concept that has captured the attention of millions and represents a pivotal moment in human history. This division will not simply be a physical or political event. It will be a spiritual confrontation that will force every human being to make a final and irreversible decision. Follow Christ and adhere to his teachings of love, truth, and sacrifice, or succumb to materialism, greed, and the deceptive seductions of the world. Pope Francis warns us of a time when truth itself will be obscured by manipulation, lies, and empty promises. It will be a time when false spiritual leaders will flood the world with messages that promise salvation, but in reality only lead to ruin and alienation from God. However, the Holy Father also offers comfort and hope. Those who remain rooted in faith, constant prayer, and the authentic teachings of Christ will be protected and guided through the storm. In the midst of the uncertainties that surround us, the light of Christ will illuminate the path for those who remain faithful and do not allow themselves to be seduced by the false promises of the world. The Holy Father's call is neither ambiguous nor vague. It is clear, direct, and urgent. Now is the time to prepare spiritually as the world faces environmental, political, and social chaos. Believers are called to strengthen their faith, resist worldly temptations, and embrace a deep and transformative spiritual renewal. In an era marked by uncertainty and fear, Pope Francis urges Catholics to remain steadfast in their commitment to Christ. Only through solid spiritual preparation can we navigate the turbulent waters ahead. This is not a passive call, but an urgent and conscious action. We must examine our lives, identify what separates us from God, and take concrete steps to correct our course. Spiritual complacency is no longer an option. This is the time to act, to be vigilant, and to cultivate an unbreakable faith that sustains us in the most difficult moments. The prophecy of the Great Divide is not simply a vision of the future, but a warning for the present. Pope Francis encourages everyone to make deliberate and informed decisions that will shape our spiritual destiny. It reminds us that we are in a time when the choices we make today have eternal consequences. Every action, every thought, and every decision must be aligned with the principles of the gospel. The era of complacency is over. This is the time to act, to be spiritually vigilant, and to cultivate unwavering faith. His words resonate as an urgent reminder to prioritize our relationship with God and reject the empty promises of the world. It is a time to return to the fundamentals of our faith, pray fervently, live according to the gospel, and actively seek holiness in every aspect of our lives. In the face of seemingly insurmountable challenges, Pope Francis reminds us that hope endures. The message of the Great Divide is not one of despair but of optimism. Although the world may seem dark and full of uncertainty, the light of Christ will always guide those who remain faithful. If we remain loyal to Christ, seek spiritual renewal, and reject the seductions of materialism, we will be able to overcome even the greatest tribulations. The Holy Father assures us that even if we face trials that seem insurmountable, God never abandons us. He is always present, ready to offer us His grace and strength when we need it most. As millions of people around the world reflect on the meaning of this prophecy, there is a renewed sense of urgency and a reinvigorated commitment to faith. Communities are gathering to pray together, strengthen their spiritual bonds, and prepare for the challenges ahead. The message is clear. We must remain vigilant, willing to make the right decisions, and determined to follow the light of Christ, no matter how difficult the path. It is in these dark times that the strength of our faith will be tested and refined, like gold in fire. Those who persevere will emerge stronger, closer to God, and better equipped to face the adversities that the future may bring. We find ourselves at a critical moment in history, where our current decisions will shape not only our personal destiny, but also the spiritual future of humanity. The prophecy of the Great Divide serves as a reminder that now is the time to act. We cannot afford to sit on the sidelines, waiting for others to take the lead. Let us unite in faith, trust in God's plan, and walk together on the path of light, no matter how difficult the journey. Our commitment to Christ must be total, absolute, and without reservation. Only in this way can we face the coming storms with the certainty that we are being guided by the hand of God. Thank you for joining us on this path of faith and reflection. Your presence here today is a testimony to the power of the shared hope we find in Christ. May we all feel inspired to strengthen our faith, renew our commitment to God, and face the challenges ahead with courage and determination. Until next time, may the heavenly light guide and protect you every step of your path. May we never forget that although the world may darken, the light of Christ will always shine for those who remain faithful.